over the ball, get those off cutters and the leg cutters going. But the leatherback Giants, just to give you the figures, they ended up with a net run rate of 1.256. The Soca Kings, 1.257. That is as close as you get here in this competition. It just shows you the even nature and how exciting this tournament has been. Even the top three teams have all lost 3 times in the competition. So anybody can beat anybody in this particular format.
I think the 3 teams who are here today, they all deserve to be here. Probably the Blue Devils just missing out, but they have been consistent. They have won matches on a regular basis, and I think they deserve to be here for this marquee match. We want to encourage all our patrons in Trinidad and Tobago to come in to the Brandar Cricket Academy. It's open and the action is on the way. It's Friday here in Trinidad and Tobago, and it's a time when most people are already switched on for the weekend. Solomon, whipped away, down behind square, and that'll go for 4.
Well, they have throughout this tournament tried to target Evan Lewis's legs, and as the over comes to an end, they're 11 without loss at the end of the first. And that time he was equal to the task. This one not quite as full as previous attempts to keep him under control, and he pulled that away well. Evan Lewis got 76 of 26 deliveries, and he has had a very good tournament indeed. And if he gets away here, it could be a big score that the Leatherback Giants will be chasing.
I think it's a good position to be batting first here, Vidya, given the nature of that track.
Well, it is. Given the nature of the track, I think that it's going to be a bit of a lottery here for the team batting first. It was very important to win that toss. So definitely the advantage with the Leatherback Giants right now. And well, look at that. Terrence Hines, who was actually going to just marking out his run-up, has pulled up here. And let's see what happens now, because it's a hip problem, definitely. So is that going to affect his bowling here? And they've gone to the seamers, obviously, given the pitch conditions earlier.
Well, he'll be tested when he bowls that first delivery. That left foot always jams down onto the crease and very hard on the surface. The good thing is that this surface is not that hard. We have been having rain. The moisture level in the country is high, and that may well help, but there could be some further jarring. What I noticed, though, Vidya, is when he was initially marking his run-up, he jumped and landed on his right foot, and when he fell, he then decided to jump with his left foot. So we wait to see. He may well be operating in a gingerly manner for the first few deliveries.
And he's still stretching it off the camera. 10 games in 13 days. That is not easy at all, even though it's 10 overs aside.
Down the ground, Kali Charan. We're seeing a different mood from Kali Charan this morning.
He's far more aggressive. In the previous games, he's been coming in at 4 wickets down or so, and he's just had to come in and swing from the hip, shoot from the hip, basically. This time around, he's getting a chance to really build an innings here, and he has done well in the 2 innings so far that he's played.
Well, he's being encouraged to go down the ground. The 2 fielders who are out of the circle in this power play is third man and the backward square on the boundary. Lucky to get away with that one, though.
Very little footwork there from Kali Charan. Just turning the attention to Evan Lewis. 8 games, batted 6 innings, 224 runs, averaging 33.33, and his strike rate among the best in the competition, 238.3. 25 sixes in the competition. Of course, that pales in comparison to Jason Mohammed, who's hit 41, which is a remarkable stat in itself.
And Jason Mohammed out front to be the player of the tournament. This time there is some shape on that one. Kalitran looking to hit him down the ground, and his head was in the air, pulled away, looking to make room. That one pitched and went further away.
Yeah, there's no one outside the circle on the offside, so that's where he's aiming to hit over extra cover, but not getting contact that time. Really made his mark in local cricket when he got that 404 not out in a 35 over game, and that was outstanding stuff from him. But many felt that he should have been maybe a bit further along at this point.
Yeah, he's been around for a while because he started at a very early age. Again, outside the off stump, going further away, and the umpire has no choice but to signal wide. So Kalicharan and Hines will know a lot about each other. They practiced together at Bamboo number 2 under the guise of Vishwanath Sinath. They have with them, it's a group of players, Yannick Karaya, Jid Gouli is there, Andrew Rambaran. So these guys, more often than not, practice together in Bamboo. Sammy drives through the offside. That's 4 runs. Lovely shot off the back foot.
Short boundary, and even the fleet-footed Nicholas Puran could not catch up with that. And as we said, he's just trying to hit through that extra cover region. And with Hines just getting the ball to swing away slightly, getting that into the gap. Not much of a gap there, but piercing it very well. And Hines is struggling. He's not at full pace here, but because of that slingy action of his, he does get the ball to tail away from the right-hander. But just hasn't been able to start it on the right line to trouble Kalicharan in any way.
The ball is coming nicely onto the bat as well. And I think this is going to be a high-scoring playoff. Sammy drive through the onside. That's a lovely shot. It's going down close to the boundary. And a great attempt. But in fact, the ball eludes Rambaran and goes for 4. So another 4, another boundary. And that takes the score along nicely. You can see him here just going back, having that extra split second to look at it and pick his spot.
Rambaran's dive, not one of the most graceful ones. I think what happened was that, if you see that mark on the left, his left foot slipped as he was about to launch into the dive there. And certainly not very graceful landing. Let's hope he's all right, because that he took a really hard tumble there on the surface here.
Well, after much consideration, Vidya will give him a 2 out of 10 for that dive. It's a short, pulled away again, and he gets another opportunity, but it can't get it this time. He does not pull out the dive. It was too short, and Kalicharan is the man with the early going.
Trifecta of 4s here. This one is a shorter delivery from Hines, and he was expecting it. You'll see where he was standing, the position he took, and just pull that through mid-wicket. No chance for Rambaran to even attempt a dive this time, and I think he was scared after that 2 rating that you gave him of the previous one. 24 without loss at the end of 2.
He would have struggled to have even gotten a 2, because that one was struck so powerfully that it raced away for 4. We've seen a different side of Kalicharan. 19 of 10. So it's a lovely day for cricket. We had a little bit of the weather hanging around, probably just to cool the conditions a bit. And I was just downstairs with you. It's a very festive atmosphere. You can feel that there is a final today that's coming up later.
People have come in. Some have come with their national flags, the red, white, and black of Trinidad and Tobago. And across on the left of our commentary position, there's a massive national flag. Somebody came in with 6 national flags on their car.
Yes, I saw that. That person has been here for probably the entire tournament. And Lewis is giving the young man the strike.
Yeah, he certainly is. And we saw this yesterday when Lewis was batting in the second innings of their game against the Blue Devils, because Anthony Alexander was flying high, just as that bird is doing right now. And Lewis was very intelligently, and the lack of ego from Lewis is something that we've seen from him. He's not that kind of guy to say, well, I am the man here. He will give the strike to the batsman who is in form.
He's always been that way, and that's a great trademark of his. This time, Kalicharan, that too close to him to pull, looking to get it somewhere over mid-wicket in the direction of your bird, your birdie. That flew away.
Well, often we hear in sports that you need to be a bit selfish in order to succeed in sport. Not so for Evan Lewis. He's been very much, he's not the kind of guy you would call egotistical at all. Very generous in the way that he has carried about himself. And coming out of the Rio Claro area, I mean, a place that has produced quite a few sportsmen. Ooh, almost placed that on.
Yep. And getting himself in a bit of a tangle there, Kali Chiran. So the power play is over after 2. And they're not taking the third just yet. They'll have to do it by over number 9.
He's asking for something. Is he asking for a thigh pad? I think he was just pointing to his thigh. Let's hope it's not a box. I'm sure you would want to have that out there. I know you met a cricketer who didn't play with one at all.
Yes, Salim Malik out of Pakistan, the legend. You know, he would have faced some of the best bowlers in the world. He would have faced the West Indies bowlers in their prime. And never wore a box. Slow delivery, driven beautifully, square of the wicket. And Hackett is there. He can't stop the 2. And over pitch delivery there by Stephon Solomon. And he was very keen to let us know. I think a message was sent to one of the commentators that you have to pronounce his name properly. Stephon Solomon. He said just in the event someone from India is looking for him.
Solomon has been around for a long time in local cricket. And Kali Chiran making a name for himself, part of that World Cup winning team back in 2016. West Indies on the 19s getting the triumph in Bangladesh. Jed Gooley was also on that team. Well, he's not playing any part in this competition any further.
Not a slow delivery. Well pitched up. Good delivery. Solomon has been good in this tournament. And he's doing his thing for the Leatherbacks this morning. Managed, of course, by Umar Khan. And he made a remark early on in the tournament when they were struggling that in tournaments, it's all about peaking at the right time. But he would love his team to peak right now to get into that finals.
Solomon 1 for 11 in his last game against the Blue Devils. Had some expensive games in between there. None for 37, none for 34. None for 12 versus the Kokriko Cavaliers. This is high into the air. This could be caught. Is it going to travel the distance? It is going to travel the distance. It's gone all the way for 6. Cyan Hackett was on the boundary looking for the catch, but there was no chance for him. And Evan Lewis has pulled this one away. Took a bit of a top edge there, I think, but he put so much power into it that even the athletic figure of Cyan Hackett couldn't get across to it. 3 overs gone at the end of it. Strikers are 34 without loss. 10 runs coming off that over. And the DJ who has treated us to a lot of different music over the tournament is playing Van Halen's Jump right now. Maybe a signal to Hackett that he should have jumped for that one, but he would have had to have jumped as high as Javier Sotomayor during his World Cup, during his world record jump of in the high jump to take that one. 34 without loss after 3. Evan Lewis on 11. Kali Chiran is very much the aggressor right now on 22 of 14. And they certainly needed a bit of a dose of steroids here in their scoring early. And they have gotten that because they've gotten off to a scoring rate just about 11.33. So there's some work here for the Leatherback Giants to kind of pull things back. And here now we're going to see the outstanding bowler for the competition for the Leatherback Giants. That's Vishan Jagisa. And he is in now to bowl. Jagisa is the top bowler in the competition, in fact. He's had 13 wickets and just an economy rate of 7.24. If the Leatherback Giants go on to win this, he is very much one of those names up there as a candidate for player of the tournament. 10 matches, 9 innings, 13 wickets, 17 overs bowled in the championship. Let's see what he does. And it's going to be full and to the legs here of the batsman. Still a little bit missing his length, but only one created here by Kali Chiran. So they're going along well here, these two, Kali Chiran and Lewis. 35 of just 19 deliveries. And you know, this is a situation where these two they're priming the pump here, and they look ready to explode. Interaction even further here, Lewis and Kalicharan.
It's short, he's back, and he hammers this away for 6.
That is a big hit by Evan Lewis. And that's into the breeze, longer side of the boundary. And this is Jagesa, who has conceded 7 runs and over in 9 games. This is the best bowler in the tournament, and treated here as if he is a schoolboy, just smashed away for 6 by Evan Lewis.
Well, the man has been quiet. You don't want to spark him into action. Shots like that will get the blood pumping. And Evan Lewis, we know that he does not need too many invitations. That's a massive hit. That's out of here and on its way to Williamsville.
Wow, what a hit by Evan Lewis. And that's 2 in a row here. And he's making a statement here, Evan Lewis. Yes, this is your best bowler, but I am going to show what I'm made of here. That is 13 runs off 3 deliveries, and they are on the doorstep of the 50 already after 3.5 overs.
Well, that one actually was attempting to go into the ambulance that's parked just to the left of the commentary booth. That was a massive hit. On that occasion, he got the ball to turn. It was actually turning away from Lewis. He got a little bit of turn, but it was short, so that negated that fact. And he's going to continue. Let's see how he responds here now, Ramphal. We are closing in on 50 already in the 4th over. I keep saying this is a good batting pitch. Sammy drives through the offside. Protection down there. And this is good running. Good running by Evan Lewis, who has worked tremendously on his fitness over the last year or so.
Yeah, he certainly has. He had his concerns about fitness with the West Indies team, but has come back very strong. And he's been posting a lot of videos of himself training, doing a lot of deadlifts, a lot of core work. And you can see the effects of it here. He looks reborn right now.
He looks sharp out there. Evan Lewis was getting himself into some problems with the beep test. And outside the off stump, looking to drag this on the onside. Of course, definitely losing the power and timing in the shot. Yes, that beep test gave him some problems there, Vidya. A test that our good friend Kailash, who's next to you, and Shaquille John will ease past.
I'm pretty sure of that.
In their dream.
Not sure if I will, though.
Jagesa, and that's driven over the offside. A valiant attempt there, but it goes past Tero Hines and into the boundary for 4. Not in total control, but as you can see, he struck it in a vacant region. The bat actually spinning in his hand, and it spooned in the air. That was lovely camera work there by good old Kailash Ragbir.
50 coming up off the last ball of the 4th over, so they are motoring along now. They're building up to a nice head of steam, 13.25 per over, and Evan Lewis has taken over the scoring here. This is where Kalicharan, one of the things we've seen about him, when he's lost the strike, he's lost the strike a lot. He tends to slow down and give away his wicket. So he's going to have to do what Evan Lewis did. Gear down a little bit, push the singles, and allow Evan Lewis to get the big shots in here. That's going to be very important for this partnership.
You call that thinking on your feet, Vidya. And that has been sadly lacking in our cricket for quite a long time. But I'm sure the young man would have been aware of this and will be looking to do just that. It's going to be Ryan Bandu, and this is going to be very interesting. He's a left-arm Chinaman googly bowler, and he's from Power Gen Cricket Club. Lewis will know a thing or two about him. He's also from Power Gen Cricket Club. This time it's slugged away for 6. That's a magnificent shot over mid-wicket. It was in the arc, and all he had to do was to help it on its journey.
That is a fine hit indeed there from the right-hander. And Ryan Bandu, very straight run-up of his. And that one, Kalicharan just swept that beautifully away for a massive 6 here. So he has continued along his merry way here and showing no signs of losing the strike in a big way to Evan Lewis.
So Bandu is now going to change. He's going to go around the wicket to him. Remember, those deliveries will be coming back into the left-hander unless Bandu can use the stiff wind that's blowing across the ground to good effect and get it to drift. We wait to see. Outside the off-stump, driven away for 4. You just can't rest.
Yeah, that's wide outside the off-stump, and Kalicharan hits that beautifully. And this is a very fine innings here from Kalicharan. He's learnt his lessons, 33 of 17. And with he and Evan Lewis going so well here, look at the scoring rate, 14.54. It's just climbing all the time here. And these two have not been troubled by anything. And it's looking very ominous here for the Leatherback Giants. Of course, the pressure is on them because they know there's one N. Puran who has to bat on the other side.
So they'll need to put up a big score. E. Lewis is on this side. This time he goes again. It takes the top edge. He could be in problems here. The catch has been taken. Making a bit of a meal of it there was Puran, Kamil Puran. He takes the catch. And what a breakthrough there by the young man, Bandu.
Yeah, Bandu there taking the wicket. And this one going for the big hit. Not quite as short, a bit shorter than he expected. And just could only get the height, but not the distance. And Bandu strikes here. 1 for 10 he has. And Puran just absorbing the blow of that ball coming down. Took a good catch. 63 for 1.
He got the height as many men would like, but just couldn't go the distance. 63 for 1. And young Ryan Bandu, Power Gen player, former Naprima College cricketer as well. Thought I might just add that in.
I wouldn't surprise if you didn't. And of course would have captained Naprima College in that 2020 season, which was in fact the last season of secondary schools cricket. And we would have covered quite a few games with Naprima College during that period.
Yes, Naprima College. Venerable institution. I was there this morning, Vidya. And the hills are alive.
Sure you weren't singing any of those old show tunes, were you?
I was just setting the tone, yes, mentally preparing for these two clashes today. I've been given an opportunity by Mr. Visham Lalman to be on the mic today, and I want to make full use of it. This time Bandu bowls, a good delivery. So both men play for Power Gen, so Lewis may know a trick or two about him, but a good fight back here by the young man with the last 2 deliveries. Forced away. Lewis will be looking for 2. Puran with the ball following him for the entire morning.
Powerful throw by Puran, just drawing the keeper away from the stumps there. But this is the type of battle that a young player like Ryan Bandu needs. He needs to test himself against the best in the world, and certainly Evan Lewis is up there. And in-form Evan Lewis is a fearsome sight. It can really strike fear in the hearts of bowlers all over the world. And he's adapted well here, Bandu.
Again, forcing it, looking to force it through the offside. It peeled away down to a shortish third man, with a gully that's on the edge of a 30-yard circle, and Terence Hines collects the ball. It's the end of 5, and the end of it. Strikers 65 for 1. We take a short break. We'll be right back.
Cyan Hackett is going to continue the attack here from the dangerous northern end, and he will be bowling to Anthony Alexander. Just a little trial run in here. And Cyan Hackett, the under-19 player, has been impressive in this competition. Vinod, he has put in a good shift.
He has done well. I remember the little duel with Kyron Pollard, the West Indies captain. It didn't go too bad for the young man. And he's always been a good player. Played for Trinidad and Tobago under 17. And then we had the onset of COVID. Speaking about COVID, yesterday, South was playing against Southeast. And there's a young man by the name of COVID Bispat who bowled 9 overs and took 1 for 8, Vidya.
Alexander continues his fine batting, 31 of 22 in the last game. And now he should pick up a double here. And I refuse to believe that is the young man's real name.
Yeah, that's his name. You know, that has been his name ever since. COVID. The number on his back, though, is 17. So he was referred to yesterday as COVID-17 Bispat.
I'm sure that was not that has no predictive value in terms of predicting the onset of the disease 2 years ago.
You never know, Vidya. You never know.
That's a single here for Alexander, who started well. And Cyan Hackett looks like he has put on some pace over the years, but he's still very young. And with his height, with his athleticism, you think that he's going to get faster as time goes on.
Definitely, he has been working on that. You know, he has been involved with the Trinidad and Tobago Academy, the B-Mobile Cricket Academy, under the watchful eyes of Kelvin Williams, fast bowling coach attached to the NCC. And we saw the day before, one of Kelvin's charges, Jaden Seals getting 4 wickets against England.
Straight to the fielder this time from Lewis. Cyan Hackett has had 7 wickets in his last 5 games, and he has been very, very good indeed, and he's kept the runs down. The highest concession for him in the last 5 games was 24 runs, which is pretty much acceptable in this high-paced, high-octane type of cricket.
Yeah, definitely so. But I think the young man, he will see this as a learning experience for him. I'm sure all the young players who are involved will take away a lot, Vidya.
Oh, that's well fielded. And Lewis, there's going to be a run out here. Alexander is going to go. A big mix-up between Anthony Alexander and Evan Lewis. And the tight bowling here by Cyan Hackett has resulted in an awful miscalculation between the two. And that is a wicket that they sorely needed.
Yeah, well, there was definitely not a misfield on there, Vidya. That was never a run. And the fielder did not misfield. Look at it. He just basically stopped it, got it on his weaker hand, which is the left hand, but he was able to get rid of the ball pretty quickly. And he had the presence of mind to go to the non-striker's end where Cyan Hackett was. And Alexander goes.
Yeah, it's a big blow struck here once again by the Leatherback Giants. The Steel Pan Strikers, just a few overs ago, they were looking pretty good, but now 2 wickets falling here quickly. 68 for 1. The good thing is that Evan Lewis is still there, but you can see how disappointed he was after the loss of that wicket. And Evan Lewis here will have to continue and do the work of 2 men. In the meantime, the man coming in is Vikash Mohan, who's had a fairly good tournament here for the Steel Pan Strikers. And if there's one issue with the strikers, maybe not the depth of batting after the likes of Lewis, Kalicharan and company.
Well, Vikash Mohan has had a good tournament. He's the next man up. And he is one player who can also move the score along quickly. Probably no need for that just yet. To hit everything, that is. Just try getting and keeping Lewis on strike.
Full toss, and that's a poor delivery from Hackett, and that gets the treatment for 4. It was a pretty good over before that, 3 runs off 3 deliveries, but the full toss there, just losing concentration here. Cyan Hackett and Evan Lewis is going to put that away every time, any time of the day.
It was a full toss, and he just picked his spot. There's a huge gap between Laurent and a deep backward square. It's the biggest gap I've ever seen on a cricket field. So which means Hackett has to be pitching up as he has done there and looking to go outside the off stump. They take one.
Evan Lewis examining the bottom of the bat here. I think there might be a little bit of a crack on it. And you could have parked 5 buses in between that particular space there.
5 buses and 2 nutsmen. And he used the space wisely. So it's the end of the over. At the end of it, the strikers, they are 73 for 2. A prediction, Vidya, of a final score?
Yeah, 4 overs. They've been going along at just about 12, so maybe about 48, 50 runs they could add potentially if Lewis still stays there. So maybe about 125 would be my prediction. That's if Lewis does not get dismissed in this over. If he gets dismissed, well, then it's going to drop to around maybe 100 for 100, 105 or so.
I keep saying it's a good batting track. And with Nicholas Puran on the opposing team, no score is ever comfortable.
Here is, Puran is just in the field. He's assessing conditions, and knowing Puran, he'll be out there looking at this pitch and be thinking to himself, there's some runs here, a lot of runs to get, and no matter what they can put up, there will be belief in this Leatherback Giants team that they can score the runs with Puran in the running. That's beautifully straight to that's gone for 4.
Well, it struck the umpire, did it?
No, it hit the stumps, in fact, and away from the umpire. Take a look at it again here. Yeah, he's hit the stumps, and the umpire was very lucky here because I don't think he's going to get out of the way here. Look at this. We just lost it there.
The day.
The umpire is happy the stumps. He might be hoping the stumps were as big as a sight screen for a moment.
Wow, that was struck with fearsome power. And the umpire just dancing. Was that umpire Bassarat, is it? No? Seems as if it's umpire Bassarat. Yes, it is. So he just had to dance out of the way of that. A man from Muruga, his villager, could have put harm on him there.
And that's going to run away for 4 again. This time a little bit streaky here from Evan Lewis. He won't mind. Full delivery from Terrence Hines, and that's running away over the boundary for 4. So consecutive boundaries to start off the over.
Taking that one from outside the off stump and sending that behind square. Well, that took some doing. He has raced up to 44 of just 18.
Heading towards another 50 here, Evan Lewis. And the highly carbonated overs that we saw earlier with the runs flowing have gone now. And perhaps a little bit of acid of anxiety rising in the stomachs here of the strikers. They'll have to play through it.
Faculty umpire Kaulesa.
Oh, that's off the edge again, and 4 consecutive boundaries. This time the other side of the bat here. But as all batsmen will tell you, you pay for the edge also. 85 for 2.
Just have a look at that shot, and you can see it was a deliberate attempt to guide it down to third man, but he did it expertly, getting it between the short third man and the man standing at deep backward point.
Hines going full here to Evan Lewis, just trying to exploit that perceived weakness that he might have these days and not moving that front foot. But Evan Lewis has been able to get some runs all the same. 3 boundaries off the over. Here's Hines again. It's gone for another big hit. This time it's a slow delivery. They really should have, I think they should have gotten a single there. But the man at the other end, Vikash Mohan, has seen the run out already, so he's decided against it.
Well, I think Mohan, it was Mohan's call. The ball was behind Evan Lewis, and I think Mohan will have to shoulder some blame for that they did not go through for a single. But that was definitely, a single was on there.
Well, I'm seeing that the projected score is about 130, so, but this is 13 runs, 12 runs off 4 deliveries already of Hines' over. It hasn't been a terrible over by any means because Lewis has just gotten 2 edges that have run away. Edged again and past the keeper and gone for 4. So Lewis using the full extremity of the bat to good effect here, and he's brought up his 50, 52 of 21 balls.
As you said, Vidya, he bought the edge as well when he collected the bat, and he gave that a mighty offer, looking to go down the ground, so that would have peeled off the edge at a rapid pace. He's able to get it away, and once Lewis continues here, that projected score will keep rising. You can never rule out 140 here, Vidya.
Certainly you can't. That's his fourth 50 of the tournament, and he's now joined the likes of Tion Webster with 4. Of course, the leader in 50s in the tournament is Jason Mohammed, 5 50s of 10 matches. That is absolutely remarkable.
Mohammed has really enjoyed this tournament. We've seen a change in his game. Don't think we ever expected Mohammed to be so destructive.
And this is another good shot out to the extra cover region, and that actually could have run away for 4, but the fielder putting in a good dive and making the stop. I think he's going to get more than 2 in your rating here. Over comes to an end at the end of 7, 90 for 2.
And Aaron Cruikshank on that occasion, I think you'll get a 7 there, Vidya.
Oh, you are very, very tough. You should be judging at the Winter Olympics. Weren't you at Salt Lake?
So it's a 90 for 2, and with 3 overs to go, you never know. They could get up to 140, 150, and what a match we will have on our hands.
Yeah, and especially with Nicholas Puran at the on the other team, and he is going to go hell for leather here. Great to see that the 2 big guns who are due to get across to the IPL have stayed on to play this match, these matches today, and they certainly have been well worth their value in the tournament. Karen Pollard, perhaps the least effective of the 4 players in the bound for the IPL, but he's still just feeling his way back into form, isn't he?
Yeah, Karen Pollard, of course, is nursing an injury, so he's just getting back, not looking to push it too much, not looking to re-injure himself. You would have noticed video he was bowling off spin in this tournament.
Cyan Hackett had a goodish first over. Here he is again. Another full toss, and Evan Lewis has repeated the dose. That is another boundary. You can't bowl that to Evan Lewis. He didn't quite pick it up, but the result is the same. 57 years off 23.
Well, you can't bowl that to anyone. Imagine Evan Lewis. You can see that one coming off the back of the hand, looking to bowl the slower delivery to the big man. But once it's full, he will go with it, and he has the strength. He does not need to use the pace of the bowler to get big shots on. And that bat that has been a bit of a problem for him for the last couple overs, I think he's finally going to have a change.
I think there was a full delivery that he just dropped the bat on, and he was looking at it as if there was a crack developing. And once there's a crack in the bat, of course, the integrity of the bat is disturbed. Not only does it limit how effectively you can hit the ball away, it also plays on the mind of the batsman. And Cruikshank is just going to do his duties here. I might get a Spirit of Cricket award here for helping out Evan Lewis.
He's coming off with 1, and the 3 bats have been taken out there by Ned.
Lewis has a range of weapons available. Almost like a golfer these days. Golfers are allowed 14 clubs in the bag. Lewis has quite a few also.
I think I read somewhere that Steve Smith carries around 12 or 14.
Yeah, that's right.
Pairs of gloves, Ronnie says. And how many bats? 6 bats.
Can you call Steve and just confirm that, Ronnie? Ronnie has Steve Smith on speed dial, he's suggesting here. And Steve Smith, as all the Australians, are certainly affected by the passing of the great Shane Warne last week. What a shock that was. 94 for 2 here. And Evan Lewis, the new weapons working very well, quite well, too well for Hackett. That's in the stands for 6.
Yeah, good shot. Pitched up. All Evan had to do was to play through the line of that one, and you can see here as pitched up in the arc. He loves it there, Evan Lewis.
Yeah, he certainly does. That was a wonderful shot by Evan Lewis, and Cyan Hackett here is being treated very poorly by Evan Lewis. 6 of the 4 of the first 2 deliveries, and 100 is up after 7.2 overs. Run rate back up above 13.
And once Lewis is there, Vidya, that final projected score will keep adjusting upwards.
In fact, it's gone up to 136 as you say that. Better delivery. That's the length he wants to get, Ryan Hackett. And just one this time, down to Hines, who's on the boundary. End of the over. Well, actually, just they're going to... I thought it was the end of the over. He may want to believe it's the end of the over also. But Alfred was just coming down to give him some advice there on what he should be doing.
Yeah, still only 3 balls to go, Vidya.
Just 3. In fact, it felt so long. Such a long over.
The balls have been going all over the place. It has taken a while to come back. I think what Mohan needs to do here now is to just get Evan back on strike.
Nice bit of fielding there by the youngster, and Hackett gets his hands on one here, and he'll be happy to see Evan Lewis at the non-striker's end where he can't do too much damage. Might have been hoping he had stayed with that other bat. Real test here for the young man. Mohan will get one. So just one more delivery in the over to bowl to Evan Lewis, who's on 64 of 25 on the scoring rate. Just starting to drop a little bit here. 13 and over. Hasn't been bad in this competition, has it?
Hasn't been at all. And it has provided tremendous entertainment. You know, this is a tournament that is heavily stacked in favor of the batsmen. All the conditions are there for them. Even the boundaries are pulled in. And I think the crowds and fans who have joined the stream, the live broadcast, they would have enjoyed it.
Better delivery here from Hackett. He ends off his spell well, but what a torrid period it was during those first 2 deliveries here. And it's an experience that he will learn from. Ryan Hackett, none for 20 in his 2 overs. At the end of the over, the strikers continue